the last thing I want to share with you about the Burrito books is how to add a page, and show you a couple examples from my students. So let's say that your student writes big, or you got one day left to finish and they ran out of paper. So all you have to do is find a spot that has a hole in it. Okay, so here's a hole. Okay, and so I'm going to take my paper that I'm going to add. I'm going to fold it hamburger way, and then hot dog way, hamburger way, and then hot dog way, and cut it so that it makes the flap. So I'm going to cut from the open end. I'm going to hold it like a tent. I'm going to cut from the open end halfway up, or a little bit more than halfway, just to make sure it's going to go in there. And then I'm going to take it and slip it through the hole. There we go. And open the flaps up, and there I have more pages. So you can't put them in order necessarily. You could also go the other way and make a hole and then roll the pages. That's a flap. This one's a flap. So you could roll this and stick it through the hole in the extra page. But as you can see, that's a little bit more just cumbersome. So making these for calendar math books is one way to use these. I've had my math routines, and so these are some examples of how we use them for the math routines. So I had the calendar book color, like blue, and then their white calendar math book, because since I used the word calendar in both their titles, I was able to say get your blue or your purple calendar math book out, calendar book, and then or get your white calendar math book out. So we used the line that was down the center to separate the sections. So this is a section on people fractions. This is a money exercise. This is today's arrays. This is a multiples activity, common multiples for two different numbers. Looks like 16 and 18. And then today's array. So as they went through, they just used a quarter page. So always make sure that they put the date on there. Okay. Then just as an aside, thinking about that growth mindset, I always had students do a self-assessment. So they were to find a page in their book that was blank, and then write me a letter about what they learned this month or got better at, and what they still need to work on. So Maggie, a gifted student, dear Miss Hill, I hope to get better at today's array. I'm sorry that I didn't finish some of my work. I'm getting better at people fractions. I'm doing great in today's array in some parts. You're a math student, Maggie. And here's another example from a boy. Again, one of the things that's important, I feel, about worksheets versus not using worksheets, so this is like the anti-worksheet, is that students have to figure out how to organize how they're going to write on the page, and that helps you understand kind of their process. So for instance, with today's arrays, he was able to put all of his stuff about this array there and this one here. It was very organized. Some other students, you're going to see that they're not so organized, and that helps you understand their level of understanding of the concept too. Dear Miss Hill, I'm having trouble with the story problem stuff. I'm learning more about arrays. I'm really good at people fractions. Your student, Matt. And one more. Dear Miss Hill, I still need a little help with today's arrays with the division part. I understand people fractions. So here's another student. Okay. Another way I used these little booklets was as a goal journal. I had them put their name, and this is covering up her last name, and their goal on the front cover. So her goal is to do better at math and taking responsibility of turning in my homework. Randy didn't follow directions very well, and he put his goals on the inside. One goal, I want to get better at math because I can't pay attention and I play with stuff easily. I don't think I need any help on time, but I do need help on different times, and another goal is can I get close to the board. And so once a week on Fridays, I gave the goal journals out and had them write to me a little letter about how they're doing on their goals. So, Dear Miss Hill, I have learned about common factors and how to get them. I have not got how to do like less than 15 with the box thing. Not sure. And I even said here, Dear Randy, I'm not sure what that is that you're referring to above. Was it the homework assignment? How is elapsed time? How is it going with percents and fractions? And then how is writing going? Is the word wall helping you, Miss Hill? And then, Dear Miss Hill, the word wall helps me. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it is this, and I'm better at patterns. 10 years later, I'm not sure exactly what that was that he was talking about. And so every week they write a letter about how they're working on their goal, and I would write back to them. So I'd get a lot of information. Latasha shows some growth as well. This is her first letter. I'm good at turning in homework starting today, and math not so good. I plan to improve by listening in math, do all of my homework. I would like a tutor to help me on the math. And so later in the book, she says, Dear Miss Hill, I'm understanding the fractions a little, but I still need more practice. Maybe I'll ask my tutor to help me with that. So because she was able to identify that would be helpful, then I was able to get her some tutoring help. So that's a goal journal, and that's another way to use Burrito books.